Welcome to our lecture on Debugging Concurrency with Logs. Today we will explore the intricacies of debugging in stateful concurrent systems and how logs can be used effectively to ensure that our designs hold up under pressure. We'll cover several core concepts and practical applications to enhance our understanding. In this section, we'll outline our learning objectives. First, we'll analyze the design pressures associated with debugging concurrency through logs. Next, we will diagnose hidden assumptions in our concurrent systems. Moving on, we'll evaluate evidence of failure as presented through logs and traces. And finally, we'll design corrections that preserve relevant invariants while being able to defend our chosen approaches in our integrity packets. This diagram summarizes the path through the lecture. Start with the core concept, expose the hidden assumption, connect it to failure evidence, and end with an invariant that can be defended in the integrity packet. Imagine working on a course project that initially appears to function correctly during a demonstration. However, as we introduce concurrency or operational pressure, hidden assumptions start to surface. Today, we will learn how to analyze and defend these hidden aspects before we can fully trust our results. This diagram turns the opening story into a reasoning path. A simple demonstration looks correct, but concurrency pressure exposes assumptions that must be checked with evidence before the result can be trusted. Let's discuss interleaved log analysis. This is a method for validating concurrent behavior, and it plays a crucial role in ensuring system reliability when under stress. We need to consider how factors such as states, timing, and coordination can affect our processes. Ignoring these elements can lead to serious issues, such as duplicate work or misleading evidence in our logs. Therefore, as part of our design, it's essential to log transitions clearly and validate our tests. This diagram supports interleaved log analysis. Read it as a map of the concept, where pressure enters, which invariant is at risk, and what evidence would make the design claim defensible. A system invariant is a condition that must maintain its truth across all valid executions. This concept is vital for trusting systems during concurrent operations. The invariant becomes apparent when we examine states, timing, and behaviors. If ignored, we can end up with issues like blocked progress or stale states in our system. Thus, it's crucial to log these transitions to validate the expected behavior of our system. This diagram supports system invariant. Read it as a map of the concept, where pressure enters, which invariant is at risk, and what evidence would make the design claim defensible. When we speak of failure mode, we refer to a repeatable way in which our system can violate an invariant or lose progress. Understanding this is crucial as it sheds light on conditions under which we can trust the system to operate correctly. Issues often surface through state conflicts and timing discrepancies, potentially leading to duplicate work or workflows that become blocked. Hence, logging critical transitions is necessary for validation purposes. This failure mode diagram highlights the path from a plausible execution to a broken invariant. Use it to identify which assumption fails and what evidence would prove the failure is real. In system design, we often encounter trade-offs, which are deliberate choices made between competing qualities like simplicity, safety, or throughput. Recognizing these trade-offs helps in prioritizing what matters most in our designs. The mechanisms that impact these trade-offs emerge from our states, timing, and behaviors. If not carefully managed, they can lead to hidden issues during execution. Consequently, we must log our transitions and validate our system's functionality. This diagram supports design trade-off. Read it as a map of the concept, where pressure enters, which invariant is at risk, and what evidence would make the design claim defensible. Here, we can visualize our system architecture in terms of debugging concurrency with logs. Notice how interleaved log analysis, system invariants, failure modes, validation evidence, and design decisions are all interconnected. The crucial takeaway is that our design decisions must always be linked to observable evidence, as the system's correctness is not confirmed by a single successful run, but by its resilience under various operational conditions. Let's dive into a practical illustration using a podcast domain as an example. Picture threads in our system checking and updating the status of an episode. We see logs indicating simultaneous access attempts to the same resource. This log analysis reveals that one thread read the status before the other could update it, showcasing the conflict. Such an example highlights the importance of order and state visibility in concurrent programming. This worked example diagram grounds the concept in the project domain. Follow the object or workflow through the diagram and notice where concurrent timing can change what the system appears to guarantee. The log correlation path shows how raw log lines become useful evidence. We start by tagging each operation and entity, then group related events into a single timeline. Once the timeline is ordered, we can test whether the invariant held or whether the trace exposes a concurrency failure. A common assumption in naive implementation is that operations will execute once and in strict order, without considering concurrency. This assumption, however, can be deceptive, as it often hides potential issues within the method's behavior. The simplistic execution model is linear. An actor performs an operation, the system reads the current state, applies a transition, and emits a side effect. But this doesn't hold true under concurrent demands. This naive execution flow makes the hidden assumption visible. The code reads state, decides what to do, updates the object, and emits a side effect as if no other worker can interfere. Under concurrency, that linear story is exactly what we need to challenge with logs. This diagram exposes the naive execution assumption. It shows a clean read, decision, write, and side effect path, then invites us to ask what happens when another worker enters the path at the same time. In a failure scenario, overlapping executions can lead to stale observations, duplicate updates, or workflows that become stuck. It's important to understand that such issues do not simply arise from syntax errors, but from a fundamental mismatch between our design assumptions and the realities of execution in a concurrent environment. This failure scenario diagram shows the concrete overlap that creates risk. The diagram is meant to make the timing visible, so the bug is understood as a design mismatch, not just a code mistake. To improve our design, we should explicitly name the invariant in play, ensure that transitions are observable, and implement correctness controls. These may include version checks, item potency controls, coordination mechanisms, and retries. By accounting for these factors, we can create a robust design that withstands the complexities of concurrency. This diagram shows how the design moves from hoping execution is ordered to checking and recording the transition. The safer design either accepts, rejects, retries, or records the outcome with evidence. Why do we consider this corrected design safer? The key is shifting from simply hoping that our workflows execute in the intended order to actively proving that any invalid interleavings are either rejected or recoverable. This proof adds an essential layer of confidence in our system's reliability. This diagram shows how the design moves from hoping execution is ordered to checking and recording the transition. The safer design either accepts, rejects, retries, or records the outcome with evidence. Understanding failure modes is critical. A common symptom is when a system passes a single, happy path demonstration, yet that test does not reflect real-world pressures. To detect these issues, we can introduce concurrent actors and structured logs. We should also be cautious if the explanation focuses more on tools rather than the design properties. This indicates a need to reframe our focus on what invariant we are trying to protect. This failure mode diagram highlights the path from a plausible execution to a broken invariant. Use it to identify which assumption fails and what evidence would prove the failure is real. This pattern selection diagram connects the observed symptom to an invariant risk, then to a design pattern and its trade-off. The pattern is justified only when it protects the property the system needs. In analyzing trade-offs, we review various approaches and their respective strengths and weaknesses. For example, a simple baseline is easy to use, but often obscures timing assumptions. Guarded state transitions protect core invariants, but require careful modeling. Explicit coordination shines a light on dependencies, but risks introducing bottlenecks. Understanding these nuances is vital for making informed design decisions. Now let's consider practical applications of what we've learned. Tomorrow, I encourage you to identify the most relevant invariant related to debugging concurrency with logs. Create both a successful sequential scenario and a pressure scenario that could reveal a failure. Don't forget to add operation IDs and entity IDs to your logs and capture evidence for validation post-fix. This practical application diagram shows the workflow students should follow. Name the invariant, run a sequential case, add pressure, instrument the behavior, and compare the before and after evidence. This lecture aligns closely with Assignment 1. You are expected to integrate these concepts into your semester project. Demonstrate how the relevant object, workflow, event, failure, or recovery mechanism applies within your domain. Mastery will be shown through structured evidence, including logs, before and after behavior, and the creation of an integrity packet explaining your design choices. This diagram connects the lecture to A1. The project object, workflow transition, reproduced failure, and supporting logs should all feed into the integrity packet explanation. As we wrap up, let's reflect on a few validation questions to consolidate our understanding. Consider what invariant or progress property is most relevant to this lecture. Think about what hidden assumptions could mislead your design. How would you enforce repeatable failure tests, and what concrete evidence would you provide to prove a failure occurred? Also, identify the design mechanism you would prioritize and the trade-offs associated with it. This validation diagram shows how to test a design claim. Start with the claim, state the invariant, run the pressure case, inspect the trace, and decide whether the evidence supports the design. In summary, our key insight today is that debugging concurrency with logs transcends vocabulary. It requires reasoning about whether a system remains correct under realistic execution scenarios. Our responsibility as engineers is to connect these concepts to invariants, observable behaviors, and defensible trade-offs. A mature design can be correctly explained, stressed, repaired, and validated with evidence. This summary diagram reinforces the lecture's main reasoning chain: identify the assumption, apply pressure, preserve the invariant, and support the conclusion with observable evidence. To conclude our lecture, let's open the floor for discussion. Think about the common failures you have encountered in your experience with concurrency. How do your design decisions impact system reliability? This reflection will help deepen our collective understanding of debugging concurrency.